Every division has them, my boys. The guys who are standing at the door of the rankings like bouncers outside the club and welcoming nobody in unless they're legit enough to hang. And in this video, we're going over the best and the worst UFC gatekeepers. And we're doing it in the form of a tier list, baby. Now, these fighters, some of them may never have fought for the belt, but they stop more hype trains than airport goddamn security, all right? Some of them are veterans, some of them are still dangerous contenders to this day, and some of them are just one upset away from reminding people who they are. So we're going to be breaking this down, what each of the tiers means here. If you're in the S tier, man, I'm going to be keeping this one elusive and sacred here. It's like the final boss before you get your shot in the top 5 or the top 10 or a damn near title shot opportunity. If you're ranked A, it means you're ranked in the top 10, top 15, like you are a good fighter, but you're also very beatable at the same time. You also have a solid amount of losses on your record, kind of consistently losing to top level guys or prospects on the rise. That's what the A tier is. You're ranked, but you're beatable. If you're in the B tier, you are still a good fighter. You could still be well-rounded, but you're hanging at the bottom of the rankings, or your time just isn't right now. You're a winnable fight if you're not sloppy in there, or if you're good enough or well-rounded enough to hang. They're like the literal iron wall that's blocking you from the top fucking 10 to the top 15. Then we have the C tier. This is more so of just like the veteran wall we have right here. Like, these guys have been around the game for a really long time. They beat a lot of guys and they've lost to a lot of guys. And then you have the D tier, which means they're a tough out. Like, they are a tough guy to beat. They've been around the UFC for a long time, but also they have so many losses on their record or so many holes in their game to the point to where it's like a lot of guys are getting past them. Like, if you're able to beat this gatekeeper, you're not just getting a shot in the rankings, you're 2 fights away from getting an opportunity to get in the goddamn rankings. So that's what the D tier is, and that's what all these tiers are here, man. So we're just going to be jumping into this here. So just starting off with the first one we got here, man, because he's fighting this motherfucking weekend, Dan Ige. Now, the thing about Ige, here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm going to put him in the B tier, okay? Because he's one of these guys objectively where he's winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one, maybe winning 2, and then he's fucking losing 3, okay? But at the end of the day, Dan Ige, I'm going to botch the actual like numerical fucking statistic, but he's like 7-0 against guys who are unranked, but he's like 0-7 against guys in the top 10. I don't know the exact fucking number, but I hope you know what I'm saying. That's a genuine statistic with Dan Ige. Like, he's losing to the prospects on the rise, like the Bryce Mitchells, the Diego Lopez's, the Lerone Murphys. He's able to beat guys who are either like journeymen though, or have kind of been lingering outside the rankings, like an Andre Philly, Nate Landwehr, Damon Jackson. But he's just consistently been losing so much in his career to the point to where it's like, I can't put him any higher than B, but he's able to win enough here and there. Like, he's able to beat his prospects in the Shawd Woodsids and shit like that. He's able to beat the old veterans like that Edson Barboza, but he's also going on like at times 3-fight losing skids like to Evloev, Josh Emmett, Korean Zombie. So Dan Ige is like there's a literal gap between him and fucking Narnia, bro. And Narnia is the top 10. Like, he's consistently it's almost funny that on paper he's specifically beating and losing to the exact same level of caliber of competition. Like Lerone Murphy, Diego Lopez, Movsar Evloev, all these fucking guys, man, they're on like a similar talent level, and for Ige to consistently lose to them, like, he does give them problems. He does take them to the judges' scorecards most of the fucking time. It's hard to really finish Dan Ige. He's durable as fuck. He's also well-rounded. He's alright in scrambles. His takedown defense is solid, but the thing is, like, it's not even a matter of his skill set. Like, he is a well-rounded fighter. He's got solid pop behind his shots. He puts forward a heavy pace, but at the end of the day, he just doesn't seem to be able to bring it all together enough to be able to really beat the upper echelon of the division. So unfortunately, I'm going to put Dan Ige in the B tier. It's just fucking funny in a way. No offense to Dan Ige, how he's literally just beating and losing to the exact same level of fucking people. So win one, lose one. It is what it is for Dan Ige. Like, he's beatable for sure, but it's a hard fucking task to do it. And even if you are beating him, he's probably taking a round off of you at the very fucking least. You know what I mean? So moving on up next to Neil fucking Magny. Now, I don't know what the fuck to do with Neil Magny, because he's like the gatekeeper of all fucking gatekeepers, alright? He's the Morgan fucking Freeman of gatekeepers. Now, the thing with Neil Magny, he has so much experience in the UFC, and with a lot of the losses he's taken, like, it also comes with a lot of wins. Like, this is a sad but very impressive statistic, but he has like the most decision wins in welterweight fucking history. So Neil Magny, he definitely is still able to get wins. He's able to beat a guy like a Mike Mallet even nowadays, but I'm gonna put him in the fucking C tier. Like, I feel like he really relies on that veteran status to really get him through, man. And I'm not just saying that because he's like, oh, he's 0-2 in his last 2, but like, Neil Magny consistently throughout most of his fucking career, besides like back when UFC was on Fox and Jose Aldo was fucking taking on Chad Mendes and he was still the fucking champ, you know what I mean? And Neil Magny's taking on fucking Alex Garcia while prime Rafael Dos Anjos is in the main event. Like, that's the shit I'm talking about. It's been a while since Neil Magny was actually in his prime and able to actually be on a win streak, but for the most part, especially ever since COVID hit, like, he's He's just been winning one and losing one, winning one, losing one. Similar to Dan Ige, but I feel like he's just been losing so much more consistently. Like, at least there's promise with Dan Ige. At least he makes the fights a lot more competitive. At least he's still able to hang in there and get in the pocket, and he's not afraid of getting fucking finished. Like, Neil Magny is he's a guy that gets finished a bit frequently. He's coming off to back-to-back brutal fucking knockouts. Like, you gotta check on the man's family afterwards kind of shit, where back-to-back losses to Michael Morales and Carlos Prates. He's lost to Burns, Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Michael fucking Chiesa, Rafael Dos Anjos, Damian Maia. So, like, the list goes on. Like, he's even losing to guys where it's like, it's not even all that to where they're fighting for the fucking title. Like, Neil Magny, he's just very beatable, man. Like, he is well-rounded on paper, but there's nothing in his fucking skill set that really stands out to the point to where this guy's ever going to be in the top 10 again, or it's a skill set to where he's going to be really beating a lot of prospects on the rise or making it competitive against guys who are ranked. Like, Neil Magny is just relying on his veteran status, and he has a fight coming up next month where he's taking on Zaleski dos Santos. I think that's a winnable fight for him. He ain't no Carlos Prates, but Neil Magny, man, there's just nothing crazy in his fucking game. He's just a journeyman, he's a veteran, and he's a tough out, but he's also, like, if you have enough finishing ability, if you have enough power, if you're fast enough, if you're well-rounded enough, like, you should be able to get past Neil Magny within 2 rounds. Like, there's a fucking reason why a bunch of people were shitting on Mike Mallet so hard to the point to where he might not even have been allowed to get back into Canada after losing to Neil Magny. Like, there's just this aura to where when you lose to Neil Magny, it's a rough fucking look, and that's nothing against Neil Magny's skill set, but that goes to show that if you are losing him, especially if you're a much of the younger fighter with a lot more promise, it's a red fucking flag. So Neil Magny, he could still rack up wins, but he's not really one of these guys that's gonna be hanging around much longer or is really getting on a win streak nowadays. So I'm gonna put Neil Magny in the fucking C tier. So moving on up next to Gilbert Burns, man. I love Derrick Burns. I'm a big Derrick Burns fan, man. It really hurts to see him fucking falling off. So I'm gonna put Burns in the A tier. I would say S tier because he's been a guy who's fought for the title before. Like, he has a really elite ground game with a lot of improved striking over the past few years. Like, Gilbert Burns, man, he's usually pretty tough to finish. I know that he just got finished in his last fucking outing, but I feel like Father Time is really getting the best of him. But regardless of that, I'm going to put him in the A tier. Like, unfortunately, I can't put him in S anymore. He's just been losing so consistently, but he's only been losing to, like, Gilbert Burns has been fighting the fucking death row of competitors. He's been fighting, not to sound like Joe Rogan here, but absolute marauders. Like, he's fighting Hamzat Chimaev in a close decision, JDM to a close fight until he got knocked the fuck out, Sean Brady, who's one of the USA's best fucking competitors right now for any division, and he's one of the best grapplers for welterweight, and then he's taking on Michael Morales, who's the fucking Spider-Man of the UFC and is on the rise. He's taking on Bilal Muhammad as well, who won the fucking title. So, Jesus Christ, he's fought Usman for the belt when he was the champ. Like, Gilbert Burns has such an underrated, like, high level of fucking guys that he's had to been consistently fighting. So unfortunately, he keeps coming up short. He got finished a couple times in his last few fights, and he hasn't won a fight since fucking Alex Pereira was the champion for middleweight. Like, that's what we're dealing with here, when it was fucking like April of 2023. So we're dealing with a bit of time off for Gilbert Burns since he's been in the win column. So for that, and the fact that he is getting, you know, he's just getting slower. He's looking worse in there. Like, he got ragdolled by Sean Brady on the ground over 5 rounds, and then his chin just looked so much worse against Michael Morales. He just wasn't able to hang in the pocket with him. He wasn't fast enough or just in the fight enough to really hang at the high pace and the hard-hitting shots that Michael Morales was setting and landing. So at the end of the day, Gilbert Burns, on paper, he's very fucking skilled. He is usually durable, but when you're going against these guys who are younger, hungrier, faster, and just hit fucking harder, like, Gilbert Burns is on a bit of this fall off, man. I think he beats a lot of the guys, or pretty much damn near everybody that's not fucking ranked. But unfortunately, like, with the amount of guys that he's been facing at this very high level, he really is just the gatekeeper to the point to where if you're beating Gilbert Burns, boom, you're in the top fucking 10. Like, that's how JDM got up there. That's how Sean Brady got up there. That's how Michael Morales just got up there. Like, Gilbert Burns is just that staple to where we all know how good he was, but he's damn near 40 years old now. He's more so of a fucking podcaster, and it's unfortunate, but I'm going to put Gilbert Burns in the A tier. The skills are there, but he's just slower than he's ever been. He's not as dominant as he's ever been. Like, the young guard has really been taking over lately. So I'm going to put Gilbert Burns, all due respect to him, in the fucking A tier. Moving on up next to racially motivated Drew motherfucking Dober, all right? The thing about Drew Dober, man, I'm going to put him in the D tier. He is a good fighter. He's a solid fucking striker. He's exciting as fuck to watch. He's usually getting consistent finishes, especially on the feet. And if he's not, he's usually getting knocked the fuck out or some shit like that. So it's consistent entertainment with Drew Dober. And he's kind of a guy who's been able to beat an Alexander Hernandez and a Terrence McKinney. But he's also losing to, like, a Matt Frevola Ebola and a Brett Riddell. So at the end of the day, Drew Dober has been a bit inconsistent, but he's been on good win streaks before. Unfortunately, right now he's on a big losing skid. I'm going to be putting him in the D tier because even though he's not losing to usually too bad guys, like I understand, you got the Brad Riddells, like I said, and the Matt Frivolas here and there, but you also got the Renato Moicanos, the Gene Silvas, the Islam fucking Makachevs. Like, he's not just losing to everybody. Like, he's also been able to beat King Green. So even though he is a bit inconsistent at times, I think that people forget how he is getting much older in age and how he is a relatively active fighter. He's still hanging with the young fucking bucks. Drew Dober doesn't say no to anybody. I respect him for that. And the consistent entertainment, I can really appreciate it. And again, the guy hits fucking hard. He's a solid striker. He's only losing to fairly elite guys. I know you got the Manuel Torres as well here and there, but at the end of the day, Drew Dober, he's not really a test at this point in his career to really get into the rankings. He's more so if you beat Drew Dober, then you get a shot at somebody in the rankings. So he is on a bit of a fall off. He is getting a bit older and slower, and he isn't just as devastating as he used to be on the feet. I don't know if we're ever going to see the Drew Dober that was explosive as fuck and durable as fuck against like our Terrence McKinney in the first round, was able to survive the onslaught and then take over and get a fucking late round one TKO. It's fucking brutal. Like, I don't know if we're going to ever see that again from Drew Dober. He consistently is a dog inside of the cage. He knows how to bring a high pace and hang in a dogfight fucking scenario. But I just think I unfortunately got to put him in the D tier because, like I said, it's not even like if you beat Drew Dober, you get ranked. You get a shot at somebody in the rankings, or you get to fight somebody for then a spot in the rankings if you're beating Drew Dober. So I think Drew Dober is a skilled fighter. He's one of the more solid guys outside of the rankings, especially for this division. But at the end of the day, Father Time is not on his side, and he hasn't been looking any better. And he's still putting on excitement, but at what fucking cost? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put Drew Dober in the D tier. He just has so many losses on his record and a lot of them are to guys to where it's like, how the fuck did they be able to beat Drew Dober, to where I'm unfortunately gonna put him in the D tier. Moving on to next to Paul fucking Craig. I'm gonna put Paul Craig in the C tier. Shout out to Paul Craig. He fucking just got his contract back in the UFC. I know that there was a bit of worry to where he might have just been fucking done. His career was gonna be over off of a no contest, faking whatever the hell, like similar situation to Aljamain Sterling getting an Oscar, to Rodolfo Bellato getting a no contest over him. A lot of people were upset with it. So I'm glad that Paul Craig is still fucking kicking, and he's got a fight booked against Modestas Bukauskas going on in a couple of months. So I'm happy for Paul Craig. I think that's a winnable fight for him, but I'm going to put him in the C tier because similar to Neil Magny, he kind of just relies on that veteran fucking status. Like, people forget, man, this guy's the lineal fucking champion. He has wins over Jamal Hill and fucking Mauricio Hua and Nikita Krylov and Magomed Ankalaev and Kennedy Nzechukwu. Like, Paul Craig is a solid fucking resume, and he's beaten people that have ended up winning the fucking belt. But he's also lost to Bo Nickel in a 3-round striking battle. He's also gotten brutally finished by Brendan Allen and Kyle Baraujo and Johnny Walker and all this shit. Like, he's getting pieced up by fucking Volkan Ozdemir. He hasn't been on a win streak since 2022. He's fucking lost 5 of his last 7 fights, with one of them being a win and the other one being a no fucking contest. So Paul Craig has just been consistently losing, and even though it is to solid competition like the Johnny Walkers and the Bo Nickels, the Kyle Baraujos, the Brendan Allens, these guys are solid, but again, like, there's a point to where there's just a certain amount of prospects that have already gotten past Paul Craig. Like, yes, he's beaten guys who he should not have fucking beaten, people that have ended up winning the belt. It's crazy because Paul Craig, even though he's getting up there in age, he can always fluke a crafty fucking submission over you. Even if he's losing the whole fucking fight, Paul Craig is still in it. The guy's a solid striker, but obviously he's going to rely heavily on the grappling. But you also got him losing to Jimmy Crute and fucking Khalil Roundtree Jr., Tyson Pedro, Alonzo Menafield in the first fucking round. So Paul Craig, man, I'm going to put him in the C tier because he does know how to still rack up his fair share of wins. Like, I think he was beating Rodolfo Bellato in that first round while they were fighting. He was able to get a win over Andre Muniz a couple of years ago. Again, like, in his resume speaks for itself, but I just think Bukauskas, this fight coming up for him, is a winnable level of competition for him, but we're going to have to fucking see it because obviously Father Time is catching up to him really fucking quick. So, but obviously we're going to have to see it. I just don't think that Paul Craig is at that ranked level anymore, unfortunately. Like, I think that the entire top 15 would be able to beat him, but he's also slick enough with his submission entries and has enough high-level UFC experience to where I could see him beating a lot of the guys outside of the rankings. And the fact that he does have a lot of experience, especially at a high level, I'm going to put him in the C tier. Like, it's not impossible for Paul Craig to get a fucking win, but usually he's going to be an underdog going against a lot of guys nowadays, and he's never really going to see the light of day in the rankings again. So I'm going to put him in the C tier here, man. Relies a lot on that resume and the fact that he can really really catch you at any moment of the fight, but I don't think he's really going to be in it as much anymore, unfortunately, unless he's facing guys like Bellato or Bukowskis and shit like that. So moving on, I'm next to Jared Cannonier, man. I'm going to put Cannonier in the fucking S tier. Like, Jared Cannonier is like the final boss of before you get a shot at the fucking title. And I love Jared Cannonier. He's constant entertainment. He's well-rounded as fuck. Like, he's one of these people forget man kind of fighters, to where it's like Jared Cannonier, if you're getting a win over him, you're usually one fight away from a fucking title shot. And the guy has fought for the belt before. He has a very underrated resume. Like, he's only losing to the very elite of fucking competition for this division, like the Sean Stricklands. And a lot of people thought that Jared Cannonier, even though he did win the fight on paper and the judges raised his fucking hands, or the ref raised his fucking hand afterwards, a lot of people thought that Strickland won that fight. But the fact that he's making it really competitive and just a pure striking battle for the most part against a guy like Strickland who has really good boxing, it's a good fucking look for Cannonier. He also lost to only Robert Whitaker and Israel Adesanya, you know what I mean? Like, the two guys that are fighting for the number one contendership spot, Kyle Barajo and Nasruddin Imavov. And a lot of people were complaining about the Imavov stoppage in general. Like, even nowadays, getting up there in age, and people forget, man, Jared Cannonier took that fucking Barajo fight like 2 months after the loss to Imavov, which was already competitive. So Jared Cannonier, man, this guy wins over Derek Brunson, Robocop, Kelvin Gastelum, Marvin Vittori, Jack Hermanson, Anderson Silva. And again, I know it was a bit of a robbery situation, but Sean Strickland on paper, man. So Jared Cannonier, it's crazy to think that when this guy started his UFC fucking career, he was at heavyweight and then went down to light heavyweight. So the guy's earlier losses in the UFC, and they're not even to bad levels of competition. It's like Dominic Reyes on the come up, Jan Blachowicz, and Glover Teixeira. Like, those were really his only losses in the UFC prior, other than his debut. So Jesus Christ, man, like, Jared Cannonier, you look at his record, you see it's 18 wins and 8 fucking losses, and you think, okay, this guy's racking up a lot of losses. He must not be all that. And the fact that he never really did touch the title, and when he did get the title shot, he got beat the fuck up for the most part. So it is what the fuck it is. I love Jared Cannonier, but I'm putting him in the S tier because he has such an underrated resume. Like, if you're beating Jared Cannonier, you're really elite fucking level, man. Like, even nowadays, even though he's getting fucking up there, he's like fucking 50 years old, he's able to beat the younger fighter, the more powerful striker, in Gregory Rodriguez, and ultimately showed a huge experience difference in that fight. And now he's an underdog against MVP, and I'm cashing that fucking money all day. He's not gatekeeping MVP from anything, but because MVP is also a bit of an old head himself. But at the end of the fucking day, man, I love that fight, and I love Jared Cannonier. I'm putting him in the S tier here, the elusive S tier, because it's just so hard to get past the guy. And even when he is losing, like to Barajo, to Imavov, to Adesanya, to Whitaker, he's taking rounds off of them every single fucking time. He's making it competitive. He's got good takedown defense. He's got powerful striking. He's got a durable as fuck chin. Like, it's hard to finish Jared Cannonier. It's hard to beat the guy. It's hard to outwork him and out fucking hustle him in there, out muscle the guy. So Jared Cannonier, he's a really fucking tough out. It's hard to finish him. He's able to hang in a dogfight scenario and hang at a heavy fucking pace. He has finishing ability. He has good ground and pound, mean fucking elbows, nasty in the pocket. Like, Jared Cannonier, man's a devastating striker with a lot of high level experience, and don't be fooled by his record. I'm putting him in the S tier here because he really is the goated fucking gatekeeper. If you're beating Jared Cannonier, you're earning a spot in the top 5 and pretty much making your way to a title shot opportunity after that consistently. So Jared Cannonier, all due respect to him, very entertaining, well-rounded, been around forever, and I feel like a very underrated fighter. Moving on, up next to the legend him fucking self, Gerald Meerschaert. Now, I got all due respect for Gerald Meerschaert, man. Unfortunately, though, I gotta put him in the fucking D tier, and it does hurt me because I do fuck with GM3. Like, the guy has won me some underdog money multiple fucking times. I can appreciate that from GM3, but you can't deny him. He's 10-10, I believe, in the UFC. He's winning 2, losing 2, winning 2, losing 2. And the guys he's losing to, don't get me wrong, it's not a really low level of competition, but Gerald Meerschaert, again, like, he's one of these guys to where he just has so many losses on his record, and he's even losing to the Brad Tavares, he's losing to Andre Petroskis, Ian Heich, Eric Anders, like prime 2020 Kevin Holland. Like, at the end of the day, he's fighting these guys that are just not even really in the rankings at the time he's fighting them, or haven't been for a fucking long time. And don't get me wrong, he's fighting elite guys as well, like a Rainier de Ritter and a Hamzat Chimaev here and there. He's ultimately getting beat the fuck up and finished by those kinds of guys. But GM3 has so much experience, and he's able to handle a lot of adversity. He's durable as hell. Like, he definitely can get finished. He has been finished. finished multiple fucking times, but for the most part, it's tough to take him out of there. So GM3, he is able to still beat a lot of guys though, so I don't mean to disrespect him at all by putting him in the D tier. Like, he's able to beat a Edmund Shabazi and a Brian Barberena, a Bruno Silva. Like, these guys are not bad fighters. They're on the more solid end of things, but unfortunately, like, GM3 just has so many losses, and there's nothing really crazy in his skill set besides his insane finishing ability on the ground. Like, the guy is able to rack up so many fucking submissions like a goddamn anaconda. So he's very versatile on the ground, and GM3 can hang with the best of them down there. He's even got underrated striking, you could argue, but GM3, he's just putting over so many guys to the point to where GM3, if you're beating him, it's not even anything too crazy at this point in the game on your resume. Like, it's a nice entry to the UFC. It's a nice, like, debut win, or, you know, if you're like 2-0, 3-0, you get like the GM3 test or some shit like that, or like a debut for RDR coming in from another promotion. You know what I mean? But he's fighting a guy like Mikhail Olasechek next. I feel like that's an appropriate level for GM3 to where I don't know who's going to win that fucking fight, but that goes to say it all. You know what I mean? Mikhail Olasechek is a guy who is just not all that in the UFC. He's a solid fighter, but that's the whole point. The guys that GM3 is beating and losing to, they're just solid for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, they're not the most well-rounded. They don't hit the fucking hardest. They don't have the brightest futures, but yet GM3 is still consistently kind of losing to some of these guys. So unfortunately, I think that his ground game is great. I think he's a really dangerous submission artist. I love GM3. He's consistent entertainment, and he's a great underdog to invest in. But unfortunately, man, like, he's just losing so much, and it's not to really a crazy level of competition for the UFC. So I'm going to put him in the D tier. I'm sorry to GM3. Moving on up next to Robbie Font, man. Rob Font reminds me so fucking much of a Dan Ige situation, man. Win one, lose one. They could pretty much beat everybody else in their fucking bloodline outside of the top 10, but as soon as you put a 5 or a 10 in front of somebody's names, Rob Font is getting beat the fuck up by them. I'm putting Rob Font in the A tier, though. Like, I think that he's a tougher out, and he's a more durable, well-rounded, better athlete than Dan Ige. I think Dan Ige is great. Don't get me fucking wrong, and the guy hits fucking hard, but Rob Font, I feel like, is just able to crack that top 10 level a bit more than a Dan Ige. When he is losing to the upper echelon of the division, like the Corey Sandhagens, the Davison Figueiredos, the Chito Veras, the Jose Aldos, he is taking rounds off of them. He had one of the best fights I've ever fucking seen against Chito Vera, who I don't rate that highly, but Chito Vera is still a top 10 worthy name. And when you look at other than that, like, the thing that kind of separates Dan Ige from Rob Font is that I feel like Rob Font, even though I believe he's kind of a bit older than Ige by a few years, he's still able to generate win streaks. He's still able to just consistently win a bit more. Like, he still looks sharp in there. His takedown defense, it isn't all that, but even though he's getting up there in age, like, it's still developing. I believe it's, I believe he's training with Sahabi now, and like, he's just been gaining so much experience in the UFC to the point to where after fighting all these elite guys for so long, like, of course he's just going to be able to beat everybody fucking else, man. Like, he's been able to beat a lot of prospects like Marlon Moraes, Adrian Yanez, Kyler Phillips, Gene Matsumoto. Like, these guys are all fucking great on the rise, and then he was able to fucking shut them down. And he also just has an underrated resume in general. Like, he's beaten Ricky Simone, he's beaten Sergio Pettis, Cody Garbrandt, Matt fucking Schnell. People forget, man. So Rob Font, the people he's losing to in the UFC, the Pedro Munezes, the Figueiredos, the Sandhagens, shit like that, it's really hard to beat Rob Font. He's really durable. Again, even when he is losing, he's not getting fucking flatlined or finished. He's only been finished, I believe, once or twice in the UFC, and even though he has a shit ton of fights. So it is hard to take Rob Font out of there. He's durable as hell. He's fought with the fucking best of them. He knows how to hang at a high pace. He's got a solidly high output on the feet. He's able to shuck off guys like Gene Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips. They are taking him down, but he's efficiently able to get back up to his fucking feet, and obviously that's where he thrives a bit more in the fight. So Rob Font, I feel like he's a really tough out to earn your way into the top 10. If you beat Rob Font, boom, all right, you're 2 wins away from a fucking title shot or a title opportunity. You know what I'm fucking saying? But in general, there's nothing crazy in Rob Font's skill to where he is a top 5 level, but he's really good enough and has enough experience and is somehow continuously improving to where he is a top 10 level fighter for fucking sure, and he will continue to be for the next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So Rob Font, he's still able to get these wins. He's still able to go on a bit of win streaks here and there. And if you're beating him, I feel like that says a lot to your skill level. So Rob Font, I'm putting respect on him, man. I'm going to put him in the fucking A tier here. Moving on up next to one of the most infuriating on the fucking list, in my opinion. And the guy totally doesn't deserve it. Like, this guy, he's probably a nice guy. He's probably just trying to provide for his fucking family and shit. This fucking Russian mafia motherfucker. Martin Tyber, there's something about him. And he does get a fair amount of fucking finishes as well. I know he's the undisputed king of the Apex, but in general, like, Martin Tyber, I don't know why I just dread watching his fights. Like, don't get me wrong, he is also a bit of a decision merchant at times, and when he is going the distance, it's nothing crazy. He doesn't say a goddamn blink of words on the mic anyway, so I get that there's reasons in my defense to not really be crazy about Martin Tybura, but there's something about when this guy fights, especially a prospect on the rise, and I know he's gonna fucking win, it's just unfortunate, because like I'm never excited for a Martin Tybura fight. Him versus Spivak headlining the Apex, or Martin Tybura is the feature prelim for a pay-per-view. I'm just never amped up for it. I'm fucking sorry. So Martin Tybura, me just attacking this dude, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. He'll fucking eat me, dude. I'm gonna put him in the B tier though. The thing is, like, he is good. He's a blob for sure, but he's just able to win. He's consistently able to fucking win. He's not one of these guys, like I keep saying throughout the video, win one, lose one. No, he's like winning 3 or 4 and then losing to like a Tom Aspinall or a fucking Alexander Volkov. And then he's going back and going on winning streaks. So it's crazy to say because Martin Tybura, people forget, man, this guy, he does have good ground game. Like, he's got good ground and pound in general. He's good at taking guys down and controlling them down there and trying to beat them up via ground and pound or getting some kind of submission. But in general, like, he's just efficient as fuck, and his striking, it's kind of sloppy at times and he doesn't hit the fucking hardest, but it's also all right for a heavyweight man in the top 10. It's fucking all right. Like, Martin Tybura, the thing that is also just, it's so infuriating because he is, for heavyweight, you got to consider the context because heavyweight is probably the most shallow division in the UFC out of all of them. Martin Tybura is solid competition for that division, but there's just such a clear gap between him and the top 7. Like, when he fights a fucking Gel Nomeda, he's gonna get beat the fuck up. When he fights a Alexander Volkov or an Aspinall, a Cyril Gane, all these fucking guys, he's consistently gonna lose, but you give him the prospects on the rise, like a Mick Parkin and a Johanna Denise. These guys in Mick Parkin, who's well-rounded and trains with Aspinall, he's the future of the heavyweight division. He got beat the fuck up for a unanimous decision. You got Johanna Denise, he's quick in there, he's powerful, he's a former Glory kickboxer, and Martin Tybura fucking beats him up via ground and pound and shuts that blob fucking down, okay? And then the fight right before it, he gets subbed in 1 round via Sergey Spivak. So it's crazy. Martin Tybura, man, he's not that great of a fighter relatively. Like, if you compare him to the light heavyweights or the middleweights, you compare him to the top 7 at heavyweight, like, he's not all that. But when you get him outside of that, when you give him all these prospects on the rise for the division, or you give him these guys that are ranked 8 through 15, he's able to make efficient as fuck work over them, whether it's a boring, drawn-out decision where it's a pitter-patter fest, which is crazy to say for heavyweight standards, but, you know, these guys are just playing it safe over 3 rounds and there's not much output, or whatever the fuck happens kind of vibe. Or Martin Tybura is just beating up prospects or guys that are relatively lower ranked. It's crazy to fucking say. He's a bit inconsistent with his output, with his finishing ability, and with his wins and losses, because again, he also is losing to the Sergey Spivaks. He is also losing to the Augusto Sakais, and I know that's fucking 2019. People forget, man, but Martin Tybura, man, he is a bit of an underrated he has a bit of an underrated UFC resume. Like, his wins aren't all that, like Tai Tuivasa and fucking Alexander Romanov. I'm not gonna rate that crazy, but this guy's like, I gotta put him in the B tier, unfortunately. Like, if you're beating him, you kind of deserve your way into the top 6 or 7 for heavyweight, because it's just baffling how Tybura is consistently just it's just, he's such a blob. He's such a fucking Apex King blob. Like, it's crazy to be hyping him up. But seriously, like, he consistently is able to get these wins. And then we're going to be stuck with him getting Apex main events till the day we die, motherfuckers. It's crazy to say. I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's not the most impressive. Like, there are holes in his game. His striking isn't all that. And he can get out grappled by even a guy like a Sergey Spivak. And he's able to get fucking chinned by a Tom Aspinall. He's able to get outworked by an Alexander Volkov. So it is what it is. But he's still able to consistently win to where he's a tough out, but he's lucky that he's in fucking heavyweight. That's kind of the point I'm making. So I'm gonna put Tybura in B tier here, man. Moving on up next to Jim Miller. Now, I got all love for Jim Miller, man. All right, one of the veterans of the UFC. People forget, man, this guy fought at UFC 100, 200, and 300. But unfortunately, I gotta put Jim Miller in the D tier. And it's kind of crazy to say because even at this stage in the fucking game, Jim Miller is still able to get wins. That's the fucking crazy part. But the guys he's beating, it's like Gabriel Benitez, Jesse Butler, Nicholas Moda, like Eric Gonzalez, Damon Jackson. The guys that he's beating even nowadays over the past few years, it is impressive because Jim Miller is getting old as fuck. And the fact that he's able to still consistently get finishes, he's getting guillotines or he's getting neck cranks or he's knocking guys out. It's crazy to fucking say that even at this stage in the game, he's able to consistently win and get performance bonuses. But in general, I got to put him in the D tier because he's just lost so much in his career. The guys that he's beating at this stage in the game aren't anything crazy in terms of talent level for the UFC. Like, they're not beating Jim Miller and getting a shot in the rankings. Like, you're beating Jim Miller Miller, and then you got like 2 fights left, and then you get a shot in the rankings, maybe. Like, look at Chase Hooper just fucking beat him, and other guys like that, and nothing really fucking happens afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Miller, he's been around for so long, and he's well-rounded enough, experienced enough, and good enough, even at the older age, to where it is a good win. Like, if you're beating Jim Miller at whatever fucking age or at any point in his career, it's a good win, but he's just so beatable at the same time. Like, he has so many losses in his UFC career. He's not only losing to fucking championship level fighters. Like, he's lost to Bobby Green, Alexander Hernandez, Joe Selecki, Scott Holtzman, and he's also lost to the very elite like Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker, shit like that. And his recent loss to Chase Hooper, he got beat the fuck up over 3 rounds. He was taken down a bunch, but Chase Hooper's a young, hungry prospect on the rise who I think is going to go really far for the division. So Jim Miller, I'm not trying to disrespect him by any means by putting him in the D tier, but it's just the fact that he's lost so much. And to the guys he's losing to, like, yes, he's lost to some very elite guys. He's fought some of the very fucking best. But the thing is, nowadays, the guys that he's beating, it's just, they're nothing crazy. They're the Damon Jacksons of the division. So Jim Miller, I respect the guy. He is well-rounded. He's still entertaining. He still is able to get finishes and get consistent wins, but he also has so many losses on his record, and a lot of them aren't to crazy levels of competition for the UFC, to where I unfortunately got to put him in the fucking D tier here, man. And moving on to the last one we got here, man, another heavyweight, Derrick Lewis. I'm going to put Derrick Lewis in the B tier as well, okay? The thing is, man, he's able to still beat prospects on the rise at this stage in the game. Him and Martin Tyber, people forget, man, killing the future of the heavyweight division, all right? He's fucking beating up Taliesin Teixeira by knockout, Marcos Rogerio de Lima by knockout. And then the thing is, Derrick Lewis, he's just that wall in between. He truly is the gatekeeper. Like, he's beating all of the prospects on the rise. Like, he's shutting you down if you have any glimmer of fucking hope to get into that top 10. But he's been getting consistently beat up by the top 10 level of Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich, Tai Tuivasa, Cyril Gane, Jalen Almeida. But I don't know, man. He's still able to beat those guys. Like, you always got to kind of be fucking ready with Derrick Lewis. Like, he can always take your fucking lights out. Like, even if he's losing most of the fight, like to a Curtis Blades or to a Alexander Volkov, he's still able to beat those guys by fucking knockout. So it's crazy to say, but Derrick Lewis, he has the power in his hands and the experience, and he's able to catch you off fucking guard in there, to where Derrick Lewis consistently can get knockout wins. Like, he does have so much UFC level experience. He's fought the best of the fucking best, and he's still able to make it semi-competitive against him at times, or get these upset wins, or just is getting beat the fuck up for 3 rounds, but Derrick Lewis still has the power to knock you the fuck out. So the fact that he really is just that clear level difference between a top 10 guy nowadays and all the prospects on the rise, I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now against back-to-back prospects, and even though he's getting dominated at times by these like really elite guys, I mean, they're really elite for the Division 4 fucking reason. Like, Derrick Lewis is still a tough task to beat. He can get finished on the ground. He can get knocked on the feet. He can get outworked and just out-grapple for 5 rounds. But at the end of the day, his power and his experience, his craftiness, and his unpredictability, and his underrated speed in there, man, to the point to where he can fucking crack you. I'm going to put him in the B tier here, man. Holding down the fort is Derrick fucking Lewis. And that's going to be it here, man, for this fucking video. Thank you so very much for giving me your time and attention, man. I almost put like Kevin Holland down here, but I don't know if he really classifies as a gatekeeper. I almost put Josh Emmett, Brandon Royval, but I don't really know if they like count as gatekeepers. So those were a couple of names I almost put on here. But in general, I feel like that these fighters I put in this fucking tier list are the guys that are really the border. They're really the fucking guys that are separating you from the top 10 or the top 15 level. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the gatekeepers of the UFC, the best and the worst in my humble fucking opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Like, where was I right? Where was I wrong? Which gatekeepers did I miss out on? And let me know what your opinions in the comments below, like which gatekeepers in the UFC that you think are the best and which ones you think are the worst, man. So I appreciate you all a lot for giving me your time and attention and just making it this far in the video, man. Like, I endlessly fucking appreciate it, my boys. So have a good time watching the card today or tomorrow. I don't know what day this video is going to go up, but have a good time watching UFC 318, man. I appreciate you all a lot. All the smoke here. Hope you have a good one, boys, and I will see you all next time.